Watson, life is a lot stranger than anything of what the human could invent.
What's brought this thought to me, Sherlock? I thought you were contemplating on the case of the exploding man again.
I rarely do anything else.
I know. So, where's this thought come from?
The strange coincidences of our cases, Watson. The plannings, the cross-purposes, and of course the wonderful chain of events. Working through generations and leading to the most incredible of results.
I'm not quite convinced.
You're not? Not after the woman? The red-headed league? Not even the 5 orange pips?
Or the exploding man. I can tell you wanted to say that one.
That is not the point, Watson.
I'm sure, Sherlock. However, let's look to the paper for my response.
A very poor example, Watson, for the newspaper will report anything to get sales.
Here we are. The cases which come to light are bold enough and perhaps even vulgar enough.
And predictable.
We have in our police reports realism pushed to the extreme limits, and yet the result is, well, not what you claim it to be.
Pray continue.
Neither incredible nor artistic.
Exactly as I deduced. However, a certain selection and discretion must be used in producing such a realistic effect. Whereas in Lestrade's own police report, he concentrates on the headline rather than the details at hand.
I can understand you thinking so, Holmes. However, as an independent consultant, both to the police and to the public, you are bound to find the strange and bizarre.
So my point stands.
Your point?
I claim that life is a lot stranger than the human mind could invent.
Yes, Sherlock. The stormy Friday night had Sherlock Holmes looking to win an intellectual fight. He was bored without a case, and ever since the 5 orange pips, he craved a case to distract him.
There must be a case out there, Watson.
Have you not heard back from the Americans?
Not as of yet, even if my gift reached them.
And I suppose with no trace back to you?
Yes, it would prove rather difficult, quite so.
Well, Sherlock, I had to be best going. Once again, Mary's beginning to notice I spend more time with you than her.
Ah, of course. Very improper of you, Watson. You must indeed see to your wife.
Yes. You'll be alright without me tonight?
Now you are being improper.
Very well, old friend. I'll be seeing you soon. I left that night and returned home. I worried for Holmes. Whenever he was without a case for too long, he would fall into a deep depression that would be difficult to get out of. I fear he may go down avenues of self-recreation again. Oh, Sherlock. Please not again. I arrived home within half an hour and removed my shoes to avoid the squeaking of the rubber on the newly cleaned floor.
Creeping into the house again?
No, not at all, dear. I was just making sure that my shoes did not squeak or smear the beautiful, clean floor. I am being honest.
How was Sherlock Holmes?
He was, well, I think...
Will I ever get to meet him?
Of course you will, yes.
You always say that.
Mary, please. Mary, what are you doing?
Tidying your study. You're never here to do it.
That's not fair.
No, John, it's not. I am your wife.
We are solving crimes, Mary. It takes up a lot of my time.
You are a doctor at your own surgery. You are not an investigator.
I write for the Strand on the side.
For pennies. You spend less and less time at the surgery, which is where we make our money to live here.
What are you saying, Mary? Are we running low on money? Oh, Mary, why didn't you tell me?
You're never here.
Then I promise I will be. Come on, come here. I'm so sorry, my dear. I promise I will be here for you more. Sadly, Mary was correct. After hearing about these financial issues, I would need to step back from crime-solving days with the great detective and my dear friend Sherlock Holmes. Alas, I woke up the next morning to eat breakfast with Mary when we had a visitor. A very delicious breakfast. Wouldn't you agree, Mary?
Yes, quite so.
Now, I shall go prepare for a long day at the surgery.
Dr. Watson?
Yes, Janet? Are you quite well? You're looking a little...
You have a visitor.
Oh, I see.
What is it, Janet?
A visitor for Dr. Watson.
I wonder if I can deduce who that is.
Apologies, I do get very bored waiting, and your maid had left the door ajar.
Holmes, it is very improper to enter a man's home uninvited.
Understandably, Watson, but these are improper times. I don't believe we've been introduced. You must be Mary Watson.
Yes. Hello, Mr. Holmes.
We should have met sooner. Watson mentions you frequently.
Oh, does he?
Quite. He is often thinking of you and looking in your best interests.
Is that why he spends nearly all of his time with you?
Well,
I'm afraid my husband will not be able to go with you today. He has to keep his surgery open and he must focus on this.
And Watson has no say in this?
Holmes!
I'm just pointing out what is happening, Watson. I have received a summons from a young Lily Sutherland in Norwich, who's expecting us to arrive within 3 hours. We will need your revolver.
My husband is busy, Mr. Holmes.
The surgery is running low on money. These cases don't pay like they used to, and we need a steady flow of capital.
Why didn't you say so?
We don't need charity, Mr. Holmes.
No, but as Watson is my oldest friend and you are his wife, I'm more than happy to give it as a gift.
It is honestly no matter.
Mary, this is £300.
What? Where did you get this money, Mr. Holmes?
My brother, Mycroft Holmes, pays me a handsome sum to remain in Baker Street. Whilst I may not talk with him at this current time, his family obligations are still something that mean a lot to him. He pays me £400 a month to keep the upkeep of things.
Holmes, you must be sitting on a gold mine.
And I am freelance, Watson. You never know where the next case will come from. Much like the case I received this morning.
What case?
Missing love interest. I'll be receiving the whole story upon our arrival.
But it's not like you to not hear the case fully.
I'm a desperate man, my friend. Now, will you accompany me?
I can't keep having you run away with Mr. Holmes.
I did not realise that Watson could not make a decision for himself.
Holmes, watch your tone.
Time is ticking, Watson. If your wife seems so insistent on you remaining, then I shall have to leave without you.
I'll come with you both.
Excuse me?
Let's see what's so important about this case.
I'm afraid I only booked 2 tickets.
Not to worry. We're now some £300 richer than we were.
Just like that, off we went, Holmes and the 2 Watsons. I tried to protest, but knowing Mary as well as I do, I could not win this fight.
It's a beautiful day, Watson.
Makes a change from last night.
So, what's this case about?
Miss Lily Sutherland. She had been writing to her love interest for many months until he mysteriously stopped writing back to her.
Perhaps the man lost interest.
Responses to the letters were weekly. They were replying in quick succession.
So?
Miss Sutherland said that her love lived in the south of England.
So, how could he respond within a week?
Precisely.
You think someone is intercepting her mail?
Perhaps. I imagine that something more sinister is afoot.
But surely this is a job for Lestrade.
The sum for this case is very high. Miss Sutherland is very serious about this, especially if she is willing to take out this amount of money and not look for police assistance. Yet another instance of this case was peculiar also.
And that was?
She lives with her mother and stepfather. The reason why we are expected within hours of my receiving the letter is because they are away from the house for the week. She does not want them knowing.
This is a secret love affair.
Precisely, Mrs. Watson. Ah, we are approaching the train station.
Norwich is a beautiful place.
Would you prefer we left you somewhere, Mrs. Watson? These cases, they can be dangerous.
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. I told you that I would stay with you at all times, and I shall.
Are you sure, Mary?
This is a case of missing love, John. Where's the danger? What a magnificent house!
Quite. Now, Watson, did you bring the revolver as I asked?
Why, yes, Holmes, but will we be needing it?
From the look of the house, I'd say possibly.
You can tell that from the look of the house?
Of course I can. Please be patient whilst I inspect the area.
Well, what are you inspecting?
There was a slight hint of smoke in the air.
So the people living here smoke. What's wrong with that?
That's not all.
What are you doing?
Yes, Holmes, what exactly are you doing with that dirt?
The ground is clumpy, rarely walked upon.
Did you really have to pick it up in order to check that?
Quiet, Watson. Your intellect is not needed as of yet. My inspection is incomplete.
Wait, no, Now where is he going?
One thing about Sherlock, my dear, you must learn to be patient with him.
I am patient.
Yes, of course you are, dear.
Front door. Grease on the door handle, but also a delicate touch of a female hand, 17 years of age.
Well, Holmes,
Well, what?
will I need my pistol or not?
Well, the house is lived in no more than 3 people alone. There are tracks in the ground to suggest that there are usually 2 automobiles here, so naturally the family has wealth. The door handle has mainly opened by a male in his 40s, most recently used by a female 17 years of age. The grease has traces of grit in it, so by that deduction the man is an engineer. I also mentioned earlier that there was a smell of smoke in the air. You can taste it, in fact. This means the man that lived here can also wield a gun. Yes, Watson, we may be needing your revolver.
Is that you, Mr. Holmes?
Indeed, Miss Sutherland.
Please, do come in.
We entered the Sutherland residence, and we were escorted to the living area. Holmes proceeded to sit down on the only armchair in the room. I believe it reminded him of his own.
Please, Mr. Holmes, that is my stepfather's chair. He will notice if someone sat in it and will kill me.
Despite his love of poetry, I could believe that.
Holmes!
What do you mean?
Your right hand is shaking.
Excuse me?
I imagine it's hard to live up to the ideals of a perfect daughter after he broke your wrist twice.
I think I do very well, thank you. And I did tell you not to consult my parents before coming here.
Miss Sutherland, I did not consult any of your family members before we arrived.
You must have. How else would you have known about my wrist?
He has a keen eye.
Watson is correct. Your right hand has got a tender shiver to it, almost missed to the untrained eye. And you don't feel it either. I mean, how could you? You are left-handed. You'd never have found it. Finally, there was a faint red line around your wrist where bruising and swelling is still not completely gone. Perhaps, Watson, you could also see to her wrist is able to fully heal.
Why, yes, of course.
That was incredible.
His ego doesn't need any more compliments, Miss Sutherland. You called for us in a hurry. Why was that? Especially if your parents are away.
Please, all of you, take a seat. You see, I could not risk my stepfather finding out, so I told him that you're both teachers and here to discuss my work. Oh, apologies, I don't think we've been introduced.
Mary Watson.
Oh, you're Dr. Watson's wife. May I please ask why you have joined me today?
Professional curiosity.
Very well.
Continue with your story, Miss Sutherland. In your letter it was described as an odd one.
It is, but honestly, I am heartbroken.
You don't seem it.
John?
No, it's fine. It's all to save face. But you know my parents can never find out about this.
You were very wise to consult me. Other teenagers would have turned to something drastic.
I've always said I'm worth too much.
Quite right, too.
It all started 2 months ago. I had attended a gala in Paris with my mother. It was a fairly ordinary affair, the glamour, the sparkle of it all. However, a week later, I received a letter from a young man called Harry Angel.
An interesting name. Why did you reply?
He enclosed a photo of himself. He fought in the Great War. He was rather dashing.
Teenagers.
Holmes, please.
I responded to his letter, and after a while, we realised we had a lot in common. It became romantic a couple of weeks ago.
The trap of love.
It is dangerous to meet someone like this, Miss Sutherland.
I know, but he was nice, and we had so much in common.
They are always nice. However, I do not believe in coincidence. What happened next?
Well, we were organising to meet. We had planned a date and time. That's when the letter stopped.
When did you plan to meet?
Today at 2.
That's in a couple of hours.
Exactly.
Will he show?
I can't be sure.
Alright, Mary, that's enough.
You're not the least bit concerned.
We are concerned, Mrs. Watson. Just let me think.
We can't just sit here and think. This person could still arrive.
Unlikely.
And how do you know that?
Mary, let's step outside.
What?
Holmes, Miss Sutherland, I'm sorry.
I understand.
Apologies, Miss Sutherland. May I see the letters?
John, what is the meaning of this?
You're scaring the client, Mary.
The client? She's a kid.
Nevertheless, she is a client. She has asked for Holmes and I to assist her, and we must do that without putting ideas in her head.
You think I don't want to help her?
I know you do, but as you know, Holmes and I have been doing this for much longer. We know how to handle these people.
I've read what you write about Sherlock Holmes. I read The Strand. It's the only way I can connect with my husband.
Ugh, Mary.
Don't groan at me. The past 5 years of marriage have been tough on me, John Watson.
I'm sorry. But we do have an etiquette that must be followed.
So what happened next? Did you ever talk to your parents about love?
Only once. My stepfather said that love was a game and will always be lost.
Your stepfather seems like a lovely man.
I see you understand men like him.
That I do, Miss Sutherland. Love poems.
Excuse me?
Eros harrows my heart, wild winds whipping desolate mountains, uprooting oaks.
Yes, Harry loves poems.
Michael R. Birch. How many loved your moment of glad grace, and loved your beauty with love false or true, but one man loved your pilgrim soul in you, and loved the sorrow of your changing face.
Yes, that's another one.
William Butler Yeats.
I'm sorry, what are you saying?
The authors of these love poems.
Oh, so you read many love poems, Mr. Holmes?
Not usually. It is my business to try and have a mind to house every single piece of information so that I may solve any case brought before me. Lily, do not forget your duties.
Oh, forget that one. I'm not sure how I got in there. That's just a message from my stepfather.
I see, and I assume by your duties he means something to do with your gender and class.
Yes, sir, you're correct.
I do believe I've solved this case, Miss Sutherland.
This is a very delicate operation, Mary. Please, can we remain calm during this time?
Yes, John. Wait. Who's that outside?
Who? I don't know.
The case is solved. You haven't done any searching, Mr. Holmes.
I don't need to, Miss Sutherland. Harry Angel is here.
It looks like the man that Holmes described at the door.
John! He's armed!
Mary, down!
Watson! Both of you! Are you all right?
Yes, Holmes. Who is he?
That's Harry Angel. Watson, your revolver.
Of course. Get Mary and Miss Sutherland out of here. I'll cover you.
Good luck, John. Come on, ladies.
Wait, we can use one of my stepfather's guns.
Where is it?
Through here.
We must get to safety.
Do you know how to use it?
I'll give it a go. Whoever is shooting at this house is not the Harry Angel I thought he was.
I strongly advise against this.
Sorry, Sherlock. We've decided.
Tricky angle.
Watson,
Sherlock, what are you doing here?
to assist.
Are you forgetting I was a soldier in the war?
And I am the strategist. The ladies have a plan.
A plan? What plan?
Miss Sutherland and Mary will fire upon the assailant, giving you time to fire the killing shot.
Put my wife in a line of danger!
I think you'll find that she put herself there.
You're going to get Mary killed!
John, calm down and wait for her signal. She is truly a Watson at heart.
We'll talk about this later.
That's your cue.
Very well.
Great shot, Watson.
Mary! Mary, what were you thinking?
Calm down, John. We're fine. Those days shooting on my father's land taught me well.
Never do that again. Holmes should never have let you do that.
Sherlock didn't let me do anything. It was all my choice.
Wait, that's not Harry Angel. At least not the man in photographs anyway.
No, Miss Sutherland, it isn't. Let's meet your stepfather.
You are intruders. This is my land.
What are you doing here? Why are you trying to kill us?
Holmes, what is going on?
May I introduce Harry Angel, who is actually Miss Sutherland's stepfather.
What? How is that possible?
That is not possible.
On the contrary, Miss Sutherland explained a story that many teenagers go through, a love at a young age that would go on to define their future relationships. However, in this case, it was someone claiming to be someone they're not.
The stepfather?
Quite. My clue to this was in the knowledge that Harry had of you, Miss Sutherland. After all, Harry had only met you at a gala in Paris. In order to locate you from all the way in the south of England, and within a week, it was too coincidental.
Yes, Holmes. You mentioned that on the train. The responses to the letters were always within the week.
Tell me, Miss Sutherland, was a P.O. box used?
Yes.
In that case, the mail was rerouted to a nearby location for your stepfather to collect and write a response to. As a result of these factors, I was able to narrow it down to a member of your close family. My next clue as to who it was were the poems he gave you. I noticed when I entered the house that the man who lived here loved his poetry. In fact, the top of his bookshelf showed only love poems, featuring the works seen in the letters that you received, like Michael R. Birch and William Butler Yeats.
I see.
This means that the boy had to know a lot about poetry, unlikely for his age. My final clue was the letter from your stepfather that you accidentally showed me. The writing was identical to that of Harry Angel's love letters.
How are you here? Where is my mother?
I have said I am back on urgent business.
But why do this?
I couldn't let you make the same mistake I did.
But you tried to kill Mr. Holmes.
Look at the bullets again.
Darts.
Darts? For what?
A small sedative with a local nerve agent to help us forget our reason for being here. A very fine and efficient plan.
Holmes, you can't be complimenting him.
I compliment the idea, not the execution, Watson. Now, Miss Sutherland, your stepfather wants you to work at the family business. He tried to break your heart and destroy your faith in men.
What can I do?
If you wish to take him to court, you may take him for fraud.
Please, no. I'm sorry.
How badly hurt is he?
I caught his leg. He will need medical assistance soon.
Very well. Mother will hear about this.
Please, Lily. No.
I believe our work here is done, Watsons.
Quite, Holmes. Quite.
You can't tell your mother, Lily. She'll leave me.
And quite right too.
If you let me have the job and the life I want, then I will refrain from telling her.
That is an offer I think you should take.
I suppose I must.
Let me see your wound, sir. I worked on Mr. Sutherland's leg for an hour. Then, with the assistance of myself and Holmes, he was back in his house completely unarmed. We were paid cash in hand and we went on our way.
Thank you, both of you.
Of course, Sherlock. Anytime. Mary, did you find this enlightening?
I honestly don't know what you find so fun about this.
It's the thrill of the chase, Watson.
Holmes, are you sure you want us to have all the cash that Sutherland paid us?
As you have seen, I'm being paid almost directly by Her Majesty's government. I am well, old friend. Now, I will leave you two to rest in your own home. I trust I will see you both again soon.
Of course, Holmes.
Not another case.
Don't you worry, dear. I'm not letting you out of my sight for a long time. A lovely warm bed.
You seem happy. We almost died today.
I know. And here we are, able to say goodnight to one another.
True.
What are you reading?
Charles Dickens. Great Expectations.
A lovely read.
It's going to be a classic one day. Even by our literature times, it's still new.
I love the way you love stories.
Well, I read yours about Sherlock Holmes, don't I?
Do I write them well?
Could do with a little more suspense.
Oh, criticism from the wife. This day is complete.
Don't be cheeky, John.
You may have to stop me.
I've been thinking.
Yes?
Sell the surgery.
What? I thought you wanted...
I did, John. Today changed my mind. All of that talk about false identities and the Harry Angels of the world, it got me thinking about how all we have are those disguises in life.
Right?
How when I go to work, I put on a different mask in comparison to when we're at home together.
I understand your meaning.
What I've realised is, the John Watson I want you to be would be like making you Harry Angel. Do you understand?
It would be like me wearing a disguise.
Despite your little pep talk with me earlier, which I still haven't forgiven you for, you were in your prime. Once a soldier, always a soldier.
We have our life together, so I don't have to be a soldier anymore, Mary.
John, I'm saying you should keep solving crimes with Sherlock Holmes.
I want to spend more time with you. The amount of cancelled plans and empty beds. You know, I want a family more than anything.
As do I, husband. For now, revel in the life of Sherlock Holmes and his strange and mysterious cases. I may even join you on some of them.
Oh, no you won't.
Oh, yes, I will.
I won't have it.
I won't have this any other way, John.
I love you, Mary Watson.
And I love you, John Watson.